Hey, Kerry here, and today I want to speak a little bit more about where I think the real estate market is going, and in specific, where I think Zillow is going, or it may be Keller Williams, or it may be Amazon.com, or it may be Berkshire Hathaway. But it is where the real estate industry is going, and I think it's important that we recognize it before it happens. Um, I believe the iBuyers and the Zillow offers is going to capture somewhere around 60% of the market. They're going to eat up the sweet spot. And the sweet spot is that $150 to $350,000 homes in my market. Um, and and that's because there's low risk and good reward. The low risk meaning these houses historically move in less than 90 days. Well, if you can go into that kind of market and make 4% and turn your money in 90 days, your return on equity or your return on investment turns out to be about 16%, and that's a viable a business model. As you move up the scale, the time to sell gets longer, and thus the risk and reward gets worse. So, in the case of a $500,000 to $750,000 home, the turnaround time is more like 180 days. So now you only have two turns of your money. So your ROI drops from 16% to 8%. And and then as you go higher, it becomes even ridiculous that your risk is just too high. So the iBuyers will stay away from that. And that's where I have preached that we need to be as real estate agents if we're going to survive this. What I want to then speak to is as we introduce technology into this equation, the situation changes a bit. Let's talk about what is the real appeal of the iBuyer situation. The appeal is that I don't have to worry as a homeowner about fixing my own home up and dealing with tradesmen. I don't have to worry about that. You, the iBuyer, and again, whoever it is, will come in and write me a check and I'll leave. So how do you then take that equation or that process and reduce the risk and still maintain or maybe even increase the reward? Well, you basically become a consignment process, and that is you, homeowner, you maintain ownership of the property, but we'll come in and do all the work for you and basically tell you what we're going to pay you for the house after we sell it. Now, how will you do that? Well, let's again speak to technology. What is going to sell the house in the low market? It's because we've updated everything. Well, what if I had a piece of technology that when John and Mary came into the house and saw this unupdated kitchen, I could put a pair of goggles on them and say, that's what the kitchen's going to look like when you take possession of the house. And Mary says, well, I like those gray cabinets and I like the change in the wall color, but I'd rather have kind of a hummus looking color on the cabinets. Push button number 1. That's changed. Now look, Mary, to that wall there that separates the kitchen from the great room. Put the goggles back on. That wall is gone. You can now see what this house is going to look like after we do all our renovation on it. John and Mary says, yeah, this is the house we want. We want to buy it. They make an offer on the house that's going to be there when they want to move in. Phil and Louise, the owners of the house, the baby boomers, are written a check. They leave. You get it? That's how they're going to move this iBuyer program up to the more expensive homes. They can take it all the way up to the $1 million, $2 million homes. This is what it's going to look like. Is this technology far-fetched? Is it somewhere in the future? No, it's here today. It's just nobody has adapted it to the real estate industry. So why hasn't Keller Williams done that? Why hasn't Berkshire Hathaway done it? Because they don't have the foresight. And they aren't willing to make an investment in their real estate agents. As soon as someone, whether it be Gary Keller or it be Zillow or it be Berkshire Hathaway, says, we control the other 40% of the business and we're going to invest in our real estate agents and we're going to maintain control of that market. Let's just say it is Zillow that does it. And they come to, and again, look at the business. In my market, if you look at homes of $500,000 or more, there are 150 agents that sell 85% of those homes. 150 agents that sell 85% of those homes. What if Zillow came to those 150 agents and said, look, you come with Zillow or Keller Williams or whomever, and here's what we'll do. We'll manage your entire online presence. You don't have to learn Facebook. You don't have to learn LinkedIn. We'll do it all for you. And we'll put you out there as the premier agent in the zip codes that you choose to serve and in the price range you choose to serve. We'll manage your CRM. Now, in the business, probably less than 10% of the agents have a CRM. And less than 40% of them even know what a CRM is and how it works. We'll manage that for you, and we'll put together a systematic program that will put you in front of your clientele on a systematic basis, and it will be thought out, and it will be professionally done, and it will present you to your client base. We'll handle all of your social media. We'll do it for you. There is no reason 2 million real estate agents in the United States need to understand how to put together a targeted Facebook ad. There is no reason why 2 million real estate agents need to know how to market over LinkedIn or Instagram. And so, because each one of them have to master that on their own, none of them are any good at it. So, if a broker is smart enough to say to the people who control the business, the 40% they can't reach, we'll do this for you. And a few more things, they can own it. We'll produce all the video. Every listing you do, we will shoot a video of it for you, with you in it, to again build your brand, and to then we'll circulate that through your CRM and through your social media to give you control of the market that you choose to serve. We'll do that for you. This is the broker speaking. We'll provide you with an assistant who you will mentor and you will bring up in the system. And then, when you're ready to leave, when you're ready to exit this business, we'll buy your business from you. I want you to go to Zillow, let's go, Google, and Google, how does a real estate agent sell their book of business? You won't find one article on it. Go to YouTube, search, how does a real estate agent sell their book of business? You won't find one video on it because it's unheard of. I was a financial advisor. I was with the American Express system, and we moved from an independent contractor to a franchisee. They sent me a book that thick, and I read it. I was the only one out of 10,000 real estate agents, financial advisors within the American Express system that read that book. I realized as we moved from independent contractor to franchisee, that I owned my book of business. I wrote every American Express financial advisor in the state of Alabama and Georgia that was over 50 years of age, and I told them, I will buy your book of business. They had no idea what it was worth. I did. In the matter of 2 years, I bought 9 practices. I moved from an unknown financial advisor in Birmingham, Alabama, to number 1 out of 10,000 in the nation. I financed them myself. I built the largest financial planning practice in the American Express system in 2 years. Today, that is commonplace. I walked away with about $200 million worth of assets under management, and I was huge. Today, I'd been a fly speck on the wall. I invented the sale of financial planning businesses. And now it's commonplace. There are even banks who will pay the seller and finance the thing for the buyer. That's unheard of in the real estate business. It's going to happen. And this business is going to change overnight. And I want you to remember where you heard it first. And if this is Zillow watching, or this is Berkshire Hathaway watching, or if this is Gary Keller watching, I am available for a seat on your board of directors because I know where this is going. I know, if you watch my other videos where I talk about we're not just selling homes now, we're selling life insurance, we're selling health insurance, we're selling everything a new home buyer needs that he isn't equipped to make decisions on. We're going to be his advisor, and then we're going to be a property manager. And the little bit of money that we make on selling homes is going to become minuscule to our business. But first, we got to control and own the agents. Now, okay, so agent retires. We multiply his past earnings times 2. And if he's been making $600,000 a year, we pay him $1.2 million for their business. And then we put that trainee in the business. And because that trainee's been working with that agent for the last 3 years, he's known to all his or her clients. And it's a smooth transition. As we did this in the financial planning business, we maintained or retained 80% to 85% of the clients we took over. Folks, this is the future of real estate. And somebody is going to figure it out. And somebody is going to create a behemoth company. A behemoth company. And they will own the business. So, there's only 150 agents you got to capture here in Birmingham. And if you went to them, and again, think about who these people are. In my market, and I'm sure this is true in every other market, the people who control this upper end of the real estate market are women. They're in their 60s and their 70s. They're established in their community because they've been doing it for 20, 25, maybe 30 years. And what's going to happen if they get cancer? What's going to happen if they die? What if is going to happen if they just get tired of doing it? Well, the same thing that's been happening for the last 30 years. Their client base just goes to the wind. And everybody knows 4 real estate agents. But what if there is a brokerage that is so far in advance of every other brokerage in the city because of how well they treat their agents and how they create an exit plan for them? What if that existed? And what if they rented some space in the mall up here that has a lot of space for rent, and they put in lazy boy chairs, and now Mary doesn't have to walk into that kitchen to see what it's going to look like. She just puts the goggles on in a lazy boy chair with a glass of champagne next to her and says, "That's the house I want. Now can we go see it and see the neighborhood?" This is where it's going. I want to, and every real estate agent I say this to says, "No, this is a relationship business. This won't happen. This won't happen." Tell me what Amazon.com is. It's a readaptation of the Sears catalog. Now, why isn't Amazon.com called Sears and Roebuck? Because the people at Sears and Roebuck couldn't figure it out. They couldn't connect the dots. Well, here are the dots. I just gave them to you. As I said, I'm available. Okay. Think about that. Watch my other videos on Zillow and the future of the market. This is Real Estate 2025. Oh, yeah. And if the video isn't enough, this is my book. This is the book I wrote, and down here it says it's all about social media marketing, plus what's going to happen in the real estate market in the future. This back part of the book is dedicated to, I called it Real Estate 2020. What I just described to you is Real Estate 2023, 2025. You put the baby boomer sell-off with the baby boomer die-off with iBuyer technology, and what I just described to you as to how to take control of the dominant real estate agents in this country, and you got Real Estate 2023, 2025. As I said, I'm available. It's fun. I love this business.